All right, welcome everyone. I would like to thank you very much for joining to our today's webinar titled Settle Up Medical Device Software Development Projects in Compliance with the IEC 62304 and the ISO 40971 in collaboration all along with adesso AG. My name is Mailan Lu and I will be the host of this webinar. So I'm from Intland Software, I'm the pre-sales, all along with Mr. Thomas Welch, who is a senior medical consultant from adesso AG, which is most likely an expert and also excellent IT services and process provider. So let's have a look at the agenda of today's webinar. First, in this webinar, we will be discussing how to avoid traps and possible pitfalls and how to actually set up medical device software development projects with, for example, codeBeamer application lifecycle management. So in an application lifecycle management, which is a holistic solution. Then Mr. Thomas Welch from adesso AG is going to talk about the essential key requirements for the IEC 62304 and the ISO 40971 based system development, and also their approach for setting up the medical device software projects. And afterwards, we are going to show you how to actually use the codeBeamer application lifecycle management in such an environment in a short demonstration. After the live demonstration, where we'll help you to understand a little bit better how codeBeamer application lifecycle management and its pre-configured medical IEC 62304 template can actually help to support you in order to be compliant and also to have more efficient development. We will start a Q&A session. And in case you have any questions at any point of this webinar today, please feel free to use the integrated dashboard and just address or aim a question directly either to me or directly to Thomas Welch from adesso AG. And of course, we will do our best to answer them all in the end of this webinar in the Q&A session. Besides that, of course, a recording of today's webinar will be available on our website soon after the webinar. And once you're visiting our webpage on www.intland.com, make sure you browse through our upcoming webinars as well. So let me just lose some words about our company, the Intland Software. The Intland Software company was founded in the year 1998. We are headquartered actually in Germany, in Stuttgart, and also have an office in the Silicon Valley, which is based in the USA. One of our greatest partner and also customer is the Lufthansa Industry Solutions for a rollout, which starts from small installation even up to greater installation, up to 5,000 users. And we also have resellers in the UK, in the Asia area like China, Korea, Japan, then also in Taiwan, France, and Italy as well. Intland Software is the developer and the sole vendor of the holistic application lifecycle management platform, and codeBeamer is a fully integrated and also a holistic application lifecycle management solution, which builds on a single repository, which includes 5 modules, such as the requirements, such as the software and the hardware development management. You can do Q&A, test management, may be manual or even automatic. So let's say if you want to do continuous integration, we have various integration points, such as for Jenkins, for instance, you can do the demand management, and also, of course, when it comes to IT operations, also known as DevOps, you can do this as well. The benefit of having an application lifecycle management solution is that it actually provides you full end-to-end traceability through the entire development lifecycle, even at small or even on very large enterprises. So our holistic application lifecycle management solution has been also been awarded with the safety critical qualification by the internationally recognized testing body TÜV Nord, which you can see on the upper right-hand side. On this slide, you can see also a short list of our clients. And as you can see, codeBeamer is a very scalable tool. We have various clients in diverse industries, such as in the medical one, in the automotive, in the high-tech, defense, and finance industry, and other industries as well. And we have companies in the ranking of the mid-size to large global enterprises, such as, for instance, Siemens, Daimler, Continental, or Medtronic, just to mention a few. All right, so as we are having the webinar today, I would like to introduce and hand over the word to Mr. Thomas Welch. Mr. Thomas Welch will then introduce the company adesso AG a little bit. He will then talk about the key requirements and the approach of adesso to setting up medical device software projects. All right, so in this case, I would like to give the presenter and hand over the word to you, Thomas.
Yes, thanks.
All right.
Okay, so welcome again from my side. I would have a few short words about our company. The adesso AG was founded in 1979. We are an IT service provider, and as you can see, we are a fast-growing company. Since then, we are currently about 2,000 people. And we have also some awards on which we are proud of. So we are a great place to work, and we are a top company and employees. Top rating from the employees also. And we are located. More technical problem, yes. We are located in mainly in Germany, but also we have some office in other countries like Switzerland or Austria and Great Britain, and one office is in Boston, and one nearshore office is also in Istanbul. A few customers from our life science area, you can see it here. We also have other lines of business in the automotive area and in the assurance area, or in the other pharma areas also. But we are talking today about medical software development, so let's make a jump into that team. When you are developing medical software solution, you have to keep in mind some of the regulatory norms you see here. So, for example, lifecycle management, things from the usability, quality management, risk management, and if you have real hardware, you also have to follow some electrical requirements for your development process. And let's look about a little bit in the 62304 regulatory norm. What this means, it means that you need to document things like your requirements from different aspects, from user aspects, from system aspects. You have to document tests. You have to keep track about your architecture on different level, high-level designs, secret designs, and you also have to document how you are doing the things. So how are you testing, how you are developing, and that you are doing the things. You have to prove that you are doing the test in reality, not only on paper, and you are doing your reviews and so on. And some other things also, you have to define some roles, who is allowed and responsible for doing these things, and this is often a problem. You have to keep the traceability about that. So, for example, you have to track requirements to your architecture or your software units, and down to your source code, so that you can, for example, say this piece of source code comes in the end from the following user requirement, for example. And so let's keep the focus on the documentation things from the 62304 regulatory, and especially in the few examples about the configuration management you have to do in this area. Let's have a few on the SOAPs. SOAPs are software components defined in the regulatory software of unknown provenance. It means that if you are using some libraries from, for example, open source, but it doesn't need to be open source, then you have to keep track about these software components and document things like where's the website from the component, where's the bug list from the component, and this is really an important thing, often forgotten. Also keep track about the license. Some companies also have some special open software officers who are only doing the things to check the license of those kinds of components. In the end, you have to be sure that it's allowed to use this kind of software component in your final product, so without being without the need to pay license fees, for example. So this is one small example from the configuration management. And as you can see here, also there are connections to other items that are managed with the system. So you can see this component is used on this software unit, for example. So you can also have a workflow behind that component. So if someone wants to have a new component for some software unit, you have a workflow where you can check that's allowed to use this component before you actually start things about it. So let's jump in another area you have to do if you're following this regulatory, for example, risk management. If you are doing a medical development, you have also do some kind of risk management and evaluating risk in resulting from different requirements. Risk are, for example, displaying the wrong values or doesn't meet your performance requirements or whatever. And you should think about these risks, about your on the different requirements, and yeah, you have to think about the probability and about the things what follows if this risk, yeah, this actual happens. And for this, it's also good to have a system where you can use the traceability to look what kind of requirements leads to which risks, and what you can do against this risk for bringing the frequency of the risk down, for example. And very important for that is also to keep the traceability between the risks and the software requirements and to the actions you have done against the risk. Let's go back to the software development part from the 62304 software development area. This is an example of the codeBeamer GUI. Let's have a closer look on the left side. as I told before, you have to document things like architecture, custom requirements, detailed designs, software requirements, risk I told about before here. Also maybe change requests and bug trackings. And as you can imagine, all these things are hanging together. So, for example, a bug is hanging on a software requirement, or if you are doing tests on the system, then you can attach a bug on the test, and the test itself hangs maybe on a software requirement or on a customer requirement. It depends how you set it up. And so using this traceability with a tool is really a great benefit. And even before you start a project, you can use a tool for your proposal management. So starting maybe adding your customer requirement in the proposal together with the customer, or thinking about software requirements, thinking about a high-level architecture, and planning the risks that resulting from that. And based on this, you can do a really good cost estimate, project risk estimate, or also technical risk estimate. And if you are starting this project and getting it, then you have this as a starting point for implementing this project. And this is works really good, and you have the full traceability from the beginning till the finish of the project. And this is real application lifecycle management, which you can use with this methodic. And let's show a little bit more practical things. I'm going jump inside the demo, and then you can see the things I told about that in reality. So, and I will give you.
Thank you, Thomas. So we'll switch the presenter once again back to my screen. I hope you can see it. So before we are jumping to the live demonstration, how the codeBeamer application lifecycle management works in practice, once again, thank you, Thomas, very well for your explanation. Before we go to the live demonstration, we have few simple questions that I would like to ask you, and those questions will just take a few seconds. And I would like to kindly ask you to answer to those questions. The first question would be, are you currently searching a tool to manage your requirements? Is it the testing? Are you even searching a tool for your entire development lifecycle? Or are you searching a tool for just agile projects, or even handling or having challenge to manage multiple agile projects? All right, so we'll wait a little bit more so everyone can vote. So I still see there are some votes left. All right, so you can see most of you are searching actually a tool to manage the entire development lifecycle. Thank you so much for your answers. The next question that I would have is, what methodology are you currently using in your company? Is it Agile? Is it Scrum, Waterfall, or V-Model, or are you using a mixture of both, like a hybrid one? All right, so I see most of you, yeah. So in each topic we have some votes, so that's pretty different, right? So the next one that I have, so sorry, we just have like 2 more questions. The next one is, are you planning an IEC 62304 related project in the near future? Is it yes, but you have your own developers, or are you planning to have medical related project, but you would need to have a development services or consulting providers? Is it no, maybe, or something else? All right, so I see most of you do have own developers. Thank you so much. So last but not least, I have one more question, which is, have you ever done IEC 6304 related projects in the past? So that's the last question. Thanks for your answers once again. All right, so most of you did finish IEC 62304 related projects in the past. All right, so would like to jump directly into the codeBeamer live demonstration, which you can see directly in here. So most likely codeBeamer is a web-based application lifecycle management, which is once again a holistic one, which has the greatest benefit for you, that most likely we support you to be more collaborative, to be more effective regarding the development. And what you can see currently, this is one of our pre-configured templates for safety development or safety critical development. We also have pre-configured templates when it comes to, for example, in the automotive area. We have an ASPICE template, an ISO 26262 template. When it comes to the aviation industry, we also have pre-configured templates such as the DO178 and the DO254. And this is one of our templates which will help you to be compliant with the IEC 62304. In this template, we also have functionalities and also included the risk management for the ISO 40971, and it also helps you to do EEMA, for instance. And this is an out-of-the-box template, pretty much, and you can directly start with the template. If you would like to get this template or just start off the box, please feel free to contact our sales department. But as you can see, we also have some descriptions in here how to actually use this medical template that we offer out of the box. And this is a great value that you would have, so you don't have to set up all the processes and all the things in codeBeamer from scratch. All right, so let's start with some features. And as Mr. Thomas Welch mentioned, that it is very important to keep or to follow the IEC 6204, which is the main focus should be on the traceability. So if you use a tool, an application lifecycle management tool such as the codeBeamer, you would have the benefit that the traceability is there automatically or out of the box as well. So let's see if in our customer requirements documentation, for instance. As I mentioned before, this is total web-based, so pretty much you can start collaborating, gather your documents in the tool. And for instance, if we have customer requirements, you can estimate the budget and the costs as well. So for instance, we have the CT scan, and I would like to change the budget from, let's say, 500,000 to 1 million. And the change is directly in the system. One more advantage that you will have, let me just scroll down a little bit, you will see the automatic history. So on each document, or let's say on this specific requirement of my customer, I can see the history out of the box, and I can see according to the who, when, what approach, who has made the change at what time. And this is a functionality that you would need and which is required to be able to go through the audits. And another thing that we can also provide out of the box, as Mr. Thomas Welch mentioned before, if you have different documents, such as the requirements, the customer requirements, the system requirements, and you go down even to the software items, the software units, and then the soups, you will somehow need to bring all those together and see the trace. And therefore, we have the Traceability Browser. Within the Traceability Browser, you can correlate and see the links between your documents. And you can just dynamically click onto the first document, such as I did on the customer requirements, and then you can just add like I wish to see the next dependencies of. So for example, if I would like to see the dependencies from a customer requirement to system requirements, then I can just click to the next documents to show the dependencies. And codeBeamer will show you where we have some documents. And the advantage is once you go through, you can save and load your current settings. And I prepared in advance a preset where a trace from, let's say, 6 level has been established, starting from the customer requirement even down to the source code. So we'll have the full end-to-end traceability by using the Traceability Browser. And this is also functionality that you would need to require when the auditor is coming. And the Traceability Browser can be perfectly used to see any gaps. So for gap analysis, you will see directly that, for example, for customer requirements, we should have some system requirements, and in this case, they are missing. So this is the case where we would start to do the work. And most likely, let me scroll down a little bit where we have some dependencies. I can see directly, starting from the customer requirements, we have some system requirements, some software requirements already, and it goes even more detailed into the software system, to the software item. We have some software units, and I can see on the Traceability Browser with which specific source code my customer requirement has been fulfilled. So I can even drive down to the source code to see how we actually implement it in order to keep the customer requirement. So this is the full end-to-end traceability that you would need to have. Another thing is also you can draw a baseline at any point of time. The baseline is also one very essential functionality, which you would need also to have for the auditor, for instance. So most likely when you have release or you have tested something and then your milestone or release is finished, then you draw a baseline, which is most likely a snapshot either of your project, or you can just draw a baseline on a simple or a single document. And then in codeBeamer you can select the baselines for the comparison. So for instance, let me compare a baseline from August this year to one of the actual one. And codeBeamer will show you for management purposes a statistic, what has been changed from the old baseline to the today's baseline. And codeBeamer will also show you in more detail what has been changed, once again, according to the who and what approach. That you can see and also show the auditor that specific things or documents has been changed by exactly who at what time. So also for the auditor, this is a must functionality that you would need to have. Another thing that I would like to show you is also as codeBeamer relies or has a very powerful workflow engine. This is also something what Mr. Welch mentioned before, that you can most likely are able to figure and to model your own processes in the tool. So codeBeamer is a very flexible one. You can also do approval and review processes where we help you to be compliant also with the FDA, for instance. So let's say we would like to start the review and the approval process. I can simply change the status from new and approve and start the review. And I can select also the owner for the review, and you will see that this item or a specific function electrostimulation requirement is now in the review mode, and I can see who is actually responsible for the review. And you see also the review has an own version, so there's also a versioning behind that. Another thing that I would like to show you is also, as Mr. Thomas Welch mentioned, that most likely risk management is very important, and also the traceability for the risk management is very important. So most likely you can verify your risk, and you can go through the risk life cycle. You can then plan the mitigations, and according to the likelihood and the severity value, codeBeamer will automatically calculate the risk value according to the multiplication of those values. And you will see also directly according to to the likelihood and severity, you will have the full traceability on that. So most likely I can see that the risk is related to the specific requirements, and I can trace back and forth. I'm opening the specific requirements to see the details behind that, and what's more, I can even export this specific risk to either Excel or to Word for further documentation, for instance. So let me show you how this looks like. So this is the export that you would get. Also, the traceability browser is also exportable. Another thing that I would like to show you, this is something what Mr. Welch also mentioned, is that you need to test your requirements, and therefore we have the so-called coverage browser, which you will also have automatically or off the box. So let me just expand this a little bit. So you would need and see directly in this overview how exactly your requirements has been tested, in which coverage, and who has run this actual test. So most likely the test coverage browser helps you to see the progress and what's been done and what has to be done in the future and what needs to be tested. Another thing is also you would have the statistics out of the box, and this will be calculated automatically by codeBeamer. And once again, this is also exportable to Office. Another thing that I would like to show you is that also within this template, we have preconfigured dashboards, but most likely you can define your own dashboards. You can set up your own charts and your own business intelligence. You can prepare your data to analyze them. So for management purposes, you will have the greatest value using an application lifecycle management by first selecting the data where you would like to have the analysis or the data formats, and then you can just prepare your own dashboards for management purposes. And this the greatest value it would have, once again, is that there is always the traceability behind. So I can see the data, which is in this example just for this dashboard, and I can see there's everywhere there's the links. So most likely, if I would like to see the specific documents, I can see the relations, and if there's source code behind, I can even trace down to the source code. And so last but not least, I would like to show you something else, because Mr. Thomas Welch also mentioned it is very important in order to follow the medical standard, the IEC 62304, is also to keep track of and to be able to define permissions. So who should or is actually allowed to do the things? And codeBeamer has various security options. So most likely you can define, let's say, either for each document who has the permission to do what, to change what, to see what, and also on the workflow you can define who is actually allowed to change the specific work item or the specific documents, let's say from new to waiting for approval. And as codeBeamer is flexible, you can even define on the attributes and the fields. Let's say if you have a field such as the budget, then you can define who is actually allowed to change the specific budget in a specific status. So codeBeamer helps you here to be compliant and to set up those things. All right, so most likely this was the live demonstration. If you would like to find more information about codeBeamer application lifecycle management, please feel free to visit us at intland.com to download either a trial of the codeBeamer version and start immediately, also with the preconfigured template. And in order to learn more about the features and the benefits of using the codeBeamer application for the lifecycle management, you can also simply get in touch with our sales department to get more information about the codeBeamer application lifecycle management, and which can help you to be compliant with the standards. And alternatively, you can also get all your questions answered in a live demonstration free of charge. And if you would like to get more information about adesso AG, feel free to visit their website on www.adesso.de. So thank you very much for your attention today.
Yes, one question.
Yes. So I would like to start the Q&A session, if you don't mind. All right. So the first question that I have is, how should we organize our codeBeamer project to support development of multiple software units with separate export documents for requirements, design, soup, tests, etc. for each unit. So let me hand over this to Thomas Welsh. Maybe he can give out some best practices, how to actually set up this project.
Okay. Yeah, there are different things you can do, but if you really want to have different software units, then the easiest way is you are using the software unit tracker according the hierarchy in the 62304 regulatory. So I would not do for each software unit an own project, but you can do it all in the same project and setting the traceability links according according your needs. So you can all simple using the software units. In my current project, I have about I think 15 software units in the same project in one software system. Was this your question?
All right, so I hope your question was answered. If not, please feel free to put more questions into the dashboard of the GoToWebinar. All right, so I think we will wait a few more minutes so everybody can address his question either to me or to Mr. Thomas Welsh. Right, so still waiting for your questions. So there's a question. Is the review tab part of codeBeamer 8.0? I don't see it in 7.x version. So you are right. This is a new function. Let's say we enhanced the review and approval mechanism in codeBeamer. So most likely, if you would like to do the review in an older version, or let's say in a version down or smaller than 8.0, then you can define the review and approval process, most likely in using the workflow engine. But you are right, the review tab is part of our new codeBeamer release, which is the 8.0. So if you would like to most likely upgrade to the new codeBeamer version, you can directly start downloading on our homepage, www.intland.com, or you can directly contact our sales partners in persons to get a license if you want to. All right, so there's one more question. Are you planning on integrating with MS Team Foundation Server TFS for source control anytime soon? So the thing is, currently we have an integration to source control or SCM repositories such as Git, Mercurial, CVS, and Git of the box. Most likely, the integration with MS Team Foundation server is very, very exciting. This is something we don't have currently off the box, but you can use most likely the REST API, our let's say open source API in order to integrate any kind of third-party tools that you have currently in your company. I see there's one more question. Is the medical template part of codeBeamer application lifecycle management or subject or to specific license? The good thing is our codeBeamer medical template is a preconfigured template which has been configured by our partner adesso AG as well, and this is totally free of charge. And you can get this medical template by contacting our sales department, and we are happy to send you the medical template out. And of course, if you would like to see a more detailed demonstration on a medical template and how codeBeamer can actually help you, we are glad to also do an individual one-on-one live demonstration for you as well. All right, so I see there are no questions left. All right, so Mr. Thomas Welsh, I would like to really thank you for your time. And also I would like to thank everyone who attends to this webinar, and hopefully see you next time to the webinar. All right. One more thing before ending the webinar. As you can see, most likely the next webinar is titled with ALM Business Intelligence with Visual Data Analysis on the 26th of October at 4 p.m. We would like to kindly invite you to this webinar. And we will be present at the Fairtrade, the MedConf Software und Geräteentwicklung in der Medizintechnik. So it's in German in Munich from the 26th to 27th October. And we will be there together with Adesso AG as well. And we would like to kindly invite you to visit us at our booth, number GS2. And Mr. Thomas Welsh from Adesso AG will also hold a speech on the 27th October at the MedConf, and we will talk on the benefits of using application lifecycle management in such a highly regulated market environment, and how actually application lifecycle management can help compliance with the IEC 62304. And we would like to kindly invite you as well. All right. So I see before we end this webinar, there's still one more question. The question is the new MDD already part of the software? So can the software fulfill the new MDD? So I'm not sure actually what the MDD is. So if you mean are you referring to the new medical standards such as the medical spice, or I think we would need to follow up with you to clarify your questions. And unfortunately, I don't get to this question. All right, so I see there are no more questions. So once again, thank you very much for your time, and I will follow up with you to clarify the last question. So thank you, and see you next time.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you, Thomas.